Council of Comics. It is time for Film and Box Office News, episode 76. Hey, we're doing The Dark Knight Rises. Back in 30 seconds.
What is good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live Podcast, episode number 76 on this February 2nd, 25th, 2024. Oh, yeah. We're going over The Dark Knight Rises, people. Mr. Wayne.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes?
What is good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live Podcast on this February 25th, 2024, where we go over all the news of film and TV, the box office numbers, and we go over a film review every week in this 2024 year of the trilogy. We're doing the Nolan Batman series. Today we're doing Dark Knight Rises. I hope you did your homework. Look at that right there. As always, remember to like and subscribe. If you have not subscribed,
cover right there. 3D Batman.
If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. We're only 4 away from 800. Hopefully we can get to that big milestone very, very soon. As always with me, the loyal council, Phil, green shirt guy. How are you doing today?
What's up?
Doing excellent.
Excellent. Cliff and Papa Wheelie will not be on today. They are not feeling well, so our prayers and thoughts go out to them. But we're going to hold this down, this 3-man team, and get you through another Film and Box Office News. Las Cruces is in the house. 1971. Thank you as always for joining. And Brian, LCS is dinner date with the family tonight. Or am I Batman? Well, why not both, Brian LCS? I don't see the problem. That's my very bad Tom Hardy Bane.
Tom Hardy's voice for Bane might be as weird as like Christian Bale's Batman. Yeah. I always like in the comic they were almost like Bane had like a Christian Bale Batman voice.
Oh my god, they hear those two voices when they were speaking to each other. We'll talk about that later. That's the end of the show. We'll talk about that later. All right. As we always do, let me start off. Where are we? All right, here we go. Oh, I gotta share the window, right? That's what I gotta do all the time. I'm sorry. Young at Heart Foundation. This is a good organization. This is a great organization. Run by our good friend Mike out in California. They believe in faith, trust, belief. They do special things for kids out there awaiting medical procedures in California. There's a couple ways that you can help out with this organization. You could, one, become a donor by going to youngatheartfoundation.com and becoming a donor. You hit this button to register, become a donor for Donate at Life America. More than 100,000 people are waiting for a life-saving transplant. You can help by registering to be an organ donor today. Just click that button right there. The second way you can help is you can sponsor a Hope Kit that's 100% tax deductible. All the funds go together to create these nice little gift boxes for the kids, or possibly go toward getting a celebrity or somebody to come see them. If you want to do that or do something else, get in touch with Mike at 323-396-9998 or email him at info@youngatheartfoundation.com and he will get right back to you. Alternativus, this is our home away from home. This is where we do all our filming every Tuesdays, where we get all our new comic books. They specialize in comics, cards, and toys. They offer the Hudson Valley's best selection of comic books. They bag and board every single comic book. Every single one. And if you want to get 10% off of your comic books, you start a pull list with Anthony. You give him a call. Give him a call at 845-233-4234. Or you can email him at alternaverse2@aol.com. The website is alternaverse.net. They are located at 870 Violet Avenue, Hyde Park, New York. They also have card tournaments on the weekends. Lorcana, Pokemon, Magic, anything you can think of within the card realm. Just give Anthony a call or email him. He'll give you the schedule for that. And yeah, Alternaverse out in Hyde Park. That's our favorite shop. And then our YouTube channel. We're at 796, ladies and gentlemen. 796. 4 away from that 800. So if you're already subscribed, get a friend to subscribe. Get a couple friends to subscribe. Maybe by tomorrow we can hit that 800. That'd be great for those giveaways. As far as our videos, Phil's Place episode 3 drops tomorrow. Phil's doing anime manga unboxing, specialty Akira. Very dope. When I was editing it, I was like, oh, this is really, really dope. Good job, Phil. We also have me and Cliff did a $30 challenge. We went to the Newburgh Toy and Collector Show.
Not what you think.
No, definitely not what you think. But we did a little $30 challenge. We saw how many books we could get for $30 and see who did better. And you guys let us know in the comments what you think. Plus, tons of B-roll of the Newburgh Toy and Collector Show. It's a great show that happened this past week. And I believe the next one's coming up in April. And our latest new comic book day, episode number 87, is up. And the skit for that was we finished out the Phil saga. You got to tune in to see why Phil does the thing. He does the thing. You find out. You'll be surprised. You'll be very, very surprised. So please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. All right. It's Film and Box Office News. First, did anybody watch anything this week?
I did. What did I? Well, I watched. Like I said before we started, I was watching more Moon Girl and Double Dinosaur.
I watched that. I'm up to episode number 10.
Last weekend I watched. Oh no, maybe it was Monday. Because I think I mentioned when I saw you on Tuesday. Oppenheimer's amazing. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Oh, I have to see it. Where's it on?
It's on Peacock.
Peacock. All right. I think I'll watch that.
Oh, and I watched the most recent Mission Impossible. What, Dead Reckoning, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm. It is called that.
It's not bad. It's okay. It's clearly a two-parter because it leads off of ends and you're like, oh, okay, this is not.
Yeah,
fun.
it's supposed to be a two-parter, but they're retooling everything. They won't call it Dead Reckoning Part 2. They're gonna call it another name.
Well, I'm sure it's whatever because it's ambiguous exactly what's on Dead Reckoning. I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, like when they released it,
whatever he's actually after will be the name of
the thought was that he was going to release that and then a year later release Dead Reckoning Part 2. But Dead Reckoning Part 1 did not go as planned as he thought in the box office.
Movie. I mean, if you like the Mission Impossible movies, it's just as good as any of the other ones. It's not like, oh, this one was such a sharp decline from the other ones. No, it's right there.
I watch it just for the crazy stunts that Tom Cruise does because he does all the stunts. So it's like
there's a couple in this one.
Is he in space yet? Is he in space in this one?
What's that?
Is he in space in this one? I heard he's going in space in either this one or the next one.
It's got to be the next one because he's not in space in this one. To me, the craziest stunt is the one where he's like, clearly it's. For the stunt, it's different, but like he's supposed to be like just hanging off the plane as it takes off. What was that?
That's him, man.
It wasn't the Henry Cavill one. It was the one before that.
That's him hanging from that plane.
I know. Well, and he's strapped to it. Like, you don't see the bottom of his arm. You know he's strapped to it. Like, for me, I'm like, whether or not you're strapped to it or not, being strapped to a plane as it takes off takes.
Oh my goodness! I always wonder what he's like before they start filming. Is he calm or is he like, yeah, let's go, woo!
Well, it's funny you say that. I saw an interview, or maybe it was a reel that got suggested to me on Instagram, where it was Matt Damon talking about something for some movie that they were both in, and he said, it was something for like a safety officer. And he's like, well, I'll tell you what happened to me. And he's talking about, the scene in the one Mission Impossible where he's running down the building, like literally running straight down the building, strapped to the thing. He's like, he goes, so I went to the safety officer. This is what I want to do. And the guy's like, yeah, you can't do that. That's not safe. And he goes, so I got myself another safety officer. So like, he does what he wants, clearly.
Listen, if you're that guy, you just have to be like, okay, let's sit down and talk about this.
Right.
Because if you say no, you're done.
Right.
You're done.
Right.
You're out of there if you say no to Tom Cruise. Like, all right, if that's what you want to do, we'll let you run on the side of a building.
We'll just, make sure you don't die.
Phil, you saw anything this week?
Just started watching the new Avatar.
Speaking of this thing right here.
That's the one. Yep. Yeah.
I binged this with Kamaria. Pretty good, man.
Like the first two
Pretty
episodes have been
good.
good. So I'm like
Pretty
2
good.
episodes in. It's like 8 episodes, so it's a quick watch.
This actor is Aang. He is Aang full. It's probably one of the best castings that I've ever seen. Like he is Aang, and this is far above the previous live action movie. It's not to give like spoilers away. I'm not giving spoilers away, but it's funny because season 1 ends how the first movie ends, with that same little battle, and it's like much.
That's how like this cartoon season kind of ends.
Yeah.
too. So it goes by like the same story.
Yeah. But there are some things changed. Not major things. Kamaria said next to me like, "Oh, that's not how it's supposed to go," and this is a, and I'm like, all right, but there's certain things I'm like, but I can understand why they did that. You know what I mean? They kind of like shrink it down, but not sacrificing a lot of the stuff. It's just those little extra things in the animated series, like the filler from the animated series is gone. You could tell when there's a little filler and
little filler parts and little
those are
little
pretty much
silly
gone.
parts. Yeah,
those are gone. It's a lot more adult. Sokka is cast perfectly. At first I was a little worried, but he's cast perfectly. I was a little worried about Katara, but toward the end of the season, she is like Katara from the animated series. She's pretty dope. Zuko, oh my god, Zuko is on point. Zuko is just as great as the animated series to me. Uncle Iroh is just as great as the animated series to me. There's a lot of touching moments in there. And Ozai, the Fire Lord, he's pretty, like, it's great across the board. It's great across the board.
Because like the martial arts.
I thought I was watching.
That was really gonna be like
Yeah.
what made or break it for me is what's like the action look like, and honestly, because I watch it on like the big screen in the living room, so it's like 100, like it's like a theater experience, and it watches like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Kung
enjoying
Fu is off like I was watching a Kung Fu movie. And they show all the big things that you want to see. Like what was the Earthbender? What's the Earthbender avatar?
I haven't met her yet, but Tops, I haven't seen her.
No. The one that was already an avatar.
Oh, okay.
Kyoshi.
Yeah.
Kyoshi. Oh, she's ferocious, just like in the anime series. But very, very good. The CG is on point. It's very good, man. It's almost like Game of Thrones, but not as adult as Game of Thrones.
I thought it was like, I thought it was like almost like watching like something like great from like Lucasfilm like today, kind of. And someone like,
Yes.
It's like what it really watched like.
Yes. Like, that's the only thing I don't like about watching an animated series and then watching the thing, because you'll kind of know already what's going to happen. I think this is great for people that have not watched the animated series and they just watch this, which I think could be better. If you have not watched the animated series, watch this first.
Oh, really?
Watch this first, because the animated series will give you all the extra stuff later. You know what I mean? All the little tidbits later. Watch this first if you haven't seen the animated stuff. But Kenneth Bird is in the house. What's good, Kenneth Bird? Mellow Dope Comics is in the house. What is good? Thank you for joining us. Kenneth Bird says at least the movie's not talking about section. I risk a movie is a good thought out movie for kids and adults to watch. Yeah, this is great. Kids can watch it. I'm very, very.
It's that same
I'm
like
into that.
positive message. Like so far, 2 episodes. Like that
Same, yeah.
same message that like was great with the first like the animated series is there too. They really worked
Yeah.
to keep that.
Yeah, same thing. Boomy is great. Okay, Boomy's in it. You'll see him. He's great in it. But yeah, it's really good. Larry Jackson is in the house. What's good, Larry? I have not watched Bad Batch yet. I have to watch it this week. They got 3 episodes out, so I guess I'll watch 4 episodes. But they say it's like a little mini movie. It's the final season of Bad Batch. There are a lot of, from what I hear, Palpatine Easter eggs. About how he came back later on, something like that. You know what I mean, or what led to it. So I'm excited about that. Let's just go over.
We're saying he's trying to fix episode 8 into 9.
Yeah, he is trying to fix episode 8, which he's, I think he's done a little bit so far. He's done a little bit. Let's see. Let me know if you want to go through any of these movie news. Grey's Anatomy theory reveals the only way for Izzy and Kareev to return. Don't care, right? Jason Statham's 10 highest grossing movies at the box office. You want to check this? Let's check this list out. I want to see this list. Jason Statham's a ride. He's been around for a long time and he's finally getting his thing. Do they have a list or do I got to go through the whole paragraphs and stuff? Come on.
Collateral, number 10.
Collateral's not his movie. Okay.
They don't have a list.
It's down. No, you got to go down. They showed it.
Where's
Number
the
10 was
list?
Collateral.
There's no.
Right it's right
okay,
there.
gotcha. Collateral.
That's not
220 million. 2004. That's a lot of money in 2004.
That's wait, but that was that's like Tom.
That's a $400
Cruise
million
and-
movie
Cruise
today.
and Jamie Foxx. That's
with
he's
the
in it,
taxi,
but
right? Like that's a
Yeah.
there's no movie, yeah.
He's in it, but that's like saying
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's why it counts. He's
Yeah.
in it, so it counts as his grossing movie.
I mean, yeah, but if you're
he's not
a
like the
main-
star.
That's what I'm saying. But if you're not the main character, why should you get credit for that? Like,
Oh,
that's like saying the Wizard of Oz is the Wicked Witch of the West movie.
Melodose.
or not of the East. I'm sorry. She's in it for 5 minutes at the beginning. And
Melodose
she's
says the same 10 movies. Spy made
Give me that one.
235 in 2015.
dead. That was all right.
All right.
Haven't
The
seen this.
Expendables 274.
If 4 of those are on here, it's ridiculous. There's 2
Expendables 2 314.
and 3.
There's no way 4 is gonna make
Uh,
this. Sorry.
Meg
Meg
2, The Trench, almost 400 million.
We watched. I've seen the
Jeez.
first one. It was kind of stupid.
Oh my goodness.
There you go. The Meg. I saw that
Meg
one.
1 529.
Well, half
That's
a
lot of money,
million.
man. That's a lot of money. Fast
X.
That movie
X. What a disappointing number for Fast X.
How
That
is
was a
that?
good movie.
Oh, it's going up.
They have a Hobbs movie coming out.
They already have a Hobbs movie that came out. Hobbs and Shaw.
What happened?
There was a Hobbs
no,
and Shaw.
that was
movie
Hobbs
with
and
him.
Shaw. They now have
Okay.
Yeah, but now it's just gonna be Hobbs. Will be a movie
And
that's
Shaw
in
will show
between
up.
Fast X and Fast 11. Yeah, I'm pretty
Whatever.
sure. I'm pretty sure.
Whatever.
Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw 700. That movie made 760 million. That's nothing to slouch
It was
about.
okay. It wasn't great. It was okay.
That's nothing to slouch about.
Fast and Furious movies
Yeah.
still bring in that 700 million. They're
Well,
gonna
because they
still drop.
make like 400 and 500 million overseas. If it's got cars, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say if it's got cars in it, and they're doing crazy stuff, and it's action oriented, the Asian market eats it up. That's all I'm saying.
The Fate of the Furious. Which
That
one was that? Is that
number-
5?
That was 8. No, that was 8.
That's
Look
8.
at that,
Eight
billion.
Furious?
That's number 8.
I didn't see
1.2
like all
billion.
I didn't see
And what's
that one.
number
That's the
1?
one after Hobbs and Shaw.
Furious 7.
Yep.
Furious
That's the one
7
that
is
introduced.
number uno. That's pretty cool. He's made his mark. Now he just needs an MCU superhero. Jason Statham as D-Man.
The Punisher.
Cyclops.
That'd be fun.
Punisher.
Punisher?
Make him the Punisher.
No, the Punisher. Bernthal's the Punisher. No,
Not
Bernthal's the
in the
best Punisher
movies.
there's ever been.
Not in the movies.
That Punisher show is part of the MCU.
Okay, and they have multiple
All
characters that
the-
play multiple people.
Netflix stuff is part of the MCU now. But
Doesn't
why
mean you
do
have
that
to-
though? If you have Bernthal, why put him in there?
Yeah.
That's just adding fire to the shit. 10 best
Think
Power
of an
Rangers.
MCU villain. Like, what villain would Statham be? Like, if you were gonna make him a villain,
Yeah,
what would he be?
what villain could he be? Leave in the comments if you think which villain he should be. The Green Lantern Corps harness their most god tier. Oh, that's comic book stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, what are you doing?
All right. What else we got here? Oh, this is movie stuff. So,
Box office.
Percy
I've read
Jackson.
Percy Jackson was good.
That was good. They greenlit season 2, which is really cool.
Yeah, I saw that just recently.
All right. There's just nothing much.
Wait, what was the
going
John
on.
Wick thing?
John Wick
snubbed
4
at-
new. You got snubbed
Oh, at the SAG?
Yeah, sniped.
Whatever. Who cares?
for stunt category.
Whatever.
Yeah, those people. I don't worry about the award thing anymore. Venom 3 gets exciting filming update from new
You
star
didn't watch
after
the
various
SAG Awards
delays.
live on Netflix?
I didn't know. Definitely not.
I got on Netflix the other day, and they're like, "Oh, just make sure you come back on whatever." I think it was Friday. I'm like, I'm not watching that. I'll check it on the internet
not-
the next day if I'm interested at all.
Not much, except for the Avatar thing and Bad Batch. Not much. All right, let's just get into box office box office numbers. Let's get into these box office numbers. Bob Marley, One Love comes in at number 1 with 13.5 million. It's dropped
had-
52%.
But it added 58 theaters and lost money and lost this percentage.
Yeah, I hear it's a good movie. I hear it's good. Demon
Is it
Slayer
accurate?
out the
Is it
box.
accurate though?
We'll see when I see it. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba to the Hashira training made 11 million for Demon Slayer.
How much did it make
Not
here?
bad.
Though?
Huh?
How much
I
think
did it
that
make
is
domestically?
here.
Oh, is that
That's
only
here.
domestic?
Yeah, that's here. That did it with
let's
like
see.
so those theaters like sold because that was like only like under 2,000 theaters.
No,
It's made 28 so far.
so it made more.
worldwide.
It made more internationally than it did here.
Yeah,
That
it's
makes
kicking
sense.
Madam Web's booty right now.
That doesn't take much.
Madam Web dropped 60%
Yikes, dude!
with
That movie is
6
done.
million.
What's number 3? Ordinary Angels. What's that?
Ordinary Angels. What is this Ordinary Angels? I know. This is inspired by the credible true story of a hairdresser who single-handedly rallies an entire community to help a widowed father save the life of his critically ill young daughter. I mean, okay. I don't know if that's something I go to the theater for.
Yeah, that sounds like
You know what I mean? I don't know if I go to the theater for that.
you watch on FaceTime.
Great for streaming. Yeah.
Hallmark.
Madam Web.
What-
Let's
what's its
let's
total?
check the numbers for this.
Oof.
77 million.
Ooh,
It's
dude,
a lot
it's not
more
gonna-
than I expected it to get.
It's not gonna break 200.
Oh, Sony's like, yeah,
Oh,
77
200.
million. Like,
You're lucky.
ah. Sony's like just rolling.
I think
They're
it'll
like,
break one. I don't know. Maybe not 150.
They'd
It's
be lucky
definitely
if
not
it
gonna
breaks
do
100 million.
No, it'll.
Lucky if it breaks 100
They'll keep
million.
it around for 100.
but what they really put into Madam Web, you know, they probably put like what 20
Well,
million into that.
There's some
No, I'm sure it's like a
decently known
90
actresses
million. What'd you say, Green Shirt
I
Guy?
was gonna say the cast budget's probably about 40.
Yeah. I'm just gonna wait for streaming, man. I can't
I'm
go
not-
to the movies.
I'll
Take
watch
a-
it. I'll watch it on Netflix like I did with Morbius, which was good for the first half hour, 40 minutes, and then
I thought Morbius was decent. Morbius is okay.
Until about 40 minutes in, then it goes right off the rails.
It's definitely like
okay. It actually starts off all right.
It's definitely like a watch on Netflix. This wasn't something that I should have dropped to like the theater. Like really, like it's just.
Melodope says Jason Statham would have been a good Taskmaster.
All right.
I can see that.
Except we only would have seen his face, but like for 30 seconds in that movie.
Yeah. Kenneth Burr says, what do you say about the new Godzilla movies and all those other movies they're having after Godzilla and King Kong? I'm excited for Godzilla versus Kong 2, the new Empire, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
The first one was okay. The second one looks ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's
I like the MonsterVerse. It's kind of all like
MonsterVerse. I think has delivered. I think starting way back with Godzilla, then Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then I think the other one was Skull Island, right?
Yeah, I think Skull Island.
Skull
then the
Island.
Monarch.
Skull Island.
Yeah. So they were pretty good. Let's go back to this. Migration drops 20%. Comes in at number 4. Argyle, which I hear is part of the Kingsman universe.
Yeah.
So that made about 3.8, dropped 40%, but it also dropped from 587 theaters. Wonka,
still out there, man.
Still out there. What do you got, Wonka? Let's check you out, Wonka.
Over 500, right?
617. Ooh, yeah. That's not bad. That'll get you a sequel.
Oh, that's going to get 2 at least. That'll get 2.
Yeah.
And as long as they're smart.
Drive Away Dolls. Anybody know about this?
No. I was going to say, Wonka, as long as they keep releasing them
Drive
at
Away
Christmas,
Dolls.
they'll be fine.
Jamie regrets her breakup with her girlfriend while Marion needs to relax. In a search of a fresh start, they embark on an unexpected road trip to Tallahassee. Things go quickly awry when they cross paths with a group of inept criminals.
That sounds dumb. That sounds stupid. I'm sorry.
It doesn't sound theater worthy. I'll say that. The Beekeeper. Speaking of Jason Statham, still making some money. He made about $2 million. The Chosen still in there. Season 4, episode 4 through 6.
Well, that's the second, right? Because then they do 1, 2, 3 is the original.
Yeah, they're putting them all in there. Yeah. Land of Bad. Perfect Days is up 152%. And up 219 theaters. Lisa Frankenstein, 600 grand. Dropped 71%. Poor Things, Mean Girls, Night Swim, Les Miserables, 2024 re-release. Stop Motion, The Taste of Things, The Zone of Interest, Origin, Trolls Band Together, still out there making some money. Dude, Iron Claw, Oppenheimer's up 0.8%,
which is wild because again, it's on Peacock, so you don't have to go to the theater if you don't want to.
Put another
200 theaters. The last 200 are holding on.
What's its total at this point? I know it's not at $1 billion, but
like 960 or something like that. Yeah, 957.
Oh man, it's breathing.
957.
They gotta put 4 extra minutes into the movie.
I guarantee you, this is what they're doing. They're waiting because if it wins the Oscar, they're hoping it'll get that bump to kick it over $1 billion.
I mean, it's hanging on at this bottom over here, man.
I don't disagree. But if it wins the Oscar,
when is the Oscars? When are the Oscars?
Beginning of next month.
Man, it's gotta stick around for like 2 weeks. I could see it stick. It went up. That means people are going back to see it. So,
and it went back into 41 more theaters.
Yeah, Nostalgia, All of Us Strangers, Drugstore, June. The Teacher's Lounge.
Oscars are March 10th.
Yeah, March 10th.
They shot the piano player.
Let's see. Next week is Dune. Dune will be next week.
Dune 2. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Dune.
Want to go see that on Friday?
I'm gonna do it
All right.
this weekend.
So the box office has really been really light these last, I'll say, month or so. But that's usually what it is around this time in February.
Are we gonna make a prediction on Dune?
Domestic.
Opening weekend.
Opening weekend on Dune.
I will say 75 million domestic opening weekend. 75 million.
Yeah, that's what I was like saying too. Like 75, 80.
Yeah, I don't see it breaking over 100 million for Dune. I don't know.
What do you think, Greaser guy? You got
I think it's gonna get close to 100. I don't know if it gets quite to 100. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the low 90s, in the 88 to 92 range. Because what is it compete? What is it going to compete against?
I was gonna say, I could see it. Like honestly,
it's the
like
only
there's
one that's
nothing
gonna
out
be
there to
out.
compete with it, and it's a big movie. It's like the first big movie of the year. I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna break 100 million this weekend. I think it's
You
gonna break
think
100
so,
million.
huh?
Yeah. So put me down for 100.
I feel like Dune
Dune.
is like one of those things that hardcore fans go see, and like
Correct.
regular people are like, don't know if I want to see
First one
Dune.
First one did all right.
It's gonna have to get a lot of great reviews for people to go check it out. A lot of great reviews, which I've seen a few already. They said it's phenomenal. So, but I don't know if they're biased because they're Dune people. You know what I mean? But
Are we gonna do those in like another year? Because with the trilogy action,
well, it's only 2.
there's gonna be 3.
Yeah, but they haven't even started filming 3 yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. In about another year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll do it eventually. Comic Cap Collectibles in the house. What's good, my friend? All right. So that was the box office. Let us know if you guys saw anything this weekend. Leave it in the comments below. We'll go check that out. Your homework for this Sunday, February 25th, 2024, was, of course, The Dark Knight Rises. And I must say, this is my second favorite, with Dark Knight being the first favorite.
This is my third favorite with Dark Knight being my second favorite and Batman Begins being the number 1 of the trilogy.
We got the same director, Christopher Nolan. It's his trilogy. It stars Christian Bale. It stars Tom Hardy, Michael Caine back as Alfred. And this is basically the story of ever since The Dark Knight, where they convinced the world that Two-Face, Harvey Dent, was actually a good guy. They were able to lock up all the criminals. Batman didn't need to be around.
Well, Batman killed him. Batman killed Harvey.
Yeah, that was the story, that Batman killed him. So it's been about 8 years, I think,
I would say,
in the timeline. It's about 8 years in the timeline that there's been no Batman.
Batman's extra brooding at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
He's extra Batman.
He's what, Howard Hughes Batman at the beginning.
Yeah, he is extra. There he is. That's it.
He's
extra brooding.
He's what's his name stole for the Flash movie.
Oh man.
I'm trying to think. Anne Hathaway is also in this movie as Catwoman.
Here's the thing. I think she's a good actress, and she had a few really great moments in this. I just don't fully buy her as Catwoman. I buy her as Selena Kyle, but Catwoman, it didn't work for me.
Kamaria is in the house. What's good, Kamaria? She became Catwoman to me early in the movie was when she was looking for the stuff, and then when he caught her, she changed her whole
sure.
And I was like, yeah, that's Catwoman. That's great.
I mean, I love the scene where they're going to get the senator who's been missing, and she pretends like she's been kidnapped too and is screaming on the floor.
Oh, inside the bar?
Fully believe that.
Oh, that was awesome.
He sets it up like, well, you just used his cell phone. So
that was so good. That's called good writing, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
That's
and then
called
she kind of looks around and gets up and leaves. Yeah.
Kamaria says Anne Hathaway will forever be America's sweetheart.
Well,
You know, the Princess Diaries type thing. You know what I
Ella
mean?
Enchanted, man.
So this movie starts off with showing us Bane, played by Tom Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a voice like this that kind of throws us off a little bit.
And it kept with Bane too, because they used that since.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
it's
one of
not
those
like
things-
it's not Bane like from the comic books where he has to inject some kind of venom in his body to make him stronger. He's just a strong guy that's, you know, been put through the ringer and doesn't feel pain, all that kind of stuff.
Well, the mask makes it so he doesn't feel the pain that he should. Feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So Batman has been gone. Bane shows up, and basically Christian Bale's like, "Well, I gotta come back and be Batman because Bane," and he doesn't do like he just thinks he can get back in the swing of things. It's just what it is,
Fair.
and he gets set up by Catwoman because she doesn't know that he's Bruce Wayne until that moment.
Well, she
in
doesn't know
time.
he's Batman.
Either way, you know what I mean? Like she sets up Batman and she just
No,
realizes.
she sets up Bruce Wayne because they want to steal Bruce Wayne's money.
No. They do that, but she doesn't realize that Batman is Bruce Wayne until Bane's beating the crap out of him.
Oh, we're saying
Then
the
she-
same thing. We're just
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, Batman, where is he? You know, that stuff. And Batman's all cocky and everything. And he finds Bane and gets the bejesus
Well-
beat out of him.
And we get the cover image.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
this is actually like this is one thing I will say that I didn't mind about this movie. It's like the first Batman Begins was taken from a few like Batman Year One in a few different comics. This was taken from like Batman Nightfall and Son of
Yes.
the Demon and a
Yes.
few of those earlier night Batman runs. Even
Yeah,
a
that
little
was
bit of like No Man's Land.
Yes.
Later in the 90s, all kind of make it into like that's one thing I did like is there somebody put at least like read a bunch of comics like
Yeah.
this stuff.
When he lifts him up, just like the comic book, and breaks his back, I was like, oh,
and
that's
breaks his back
phenomenal.
like Nightfall. Like that is right out
Yeah.
of Nightfall. That's
Yeah.
where I phrase it here. I'm going to say, and it like hurts them later on in the movie because like to get all this right, you purposely got something wrong for like a shock value that you didn't need to get wrong. Like
Yeah. So Batman gets his back broken. I'm gonna shoot back to the beginning. Gordon, played by Gary Oldman, he's gonna read a speech that he wrote. So I don't know why he wrote it down on paper anyway. He could just say it, but he decides not to read.
Speaker.
Yeah, he decides not to read it, and it had the truth on there of what happened in the previous movie. He gets captured by Bane. They take the note and all that, but that's for later on what they reveal. But so Batman gets sent to the pit, and they tell this story about one child that escaped the pit.
Well, we got to back up even before that.
Right.
Bane takes over the city.
Yes.
He blows up all the bridges. Nobody can leave. And if the authorities decide to get involved, he's just going to blow up this nuclear bomb and destroy Gotham in one fell swoop.
it's like linked to somebody's heart, and it's like if somebody like
Right.
leaves or dies, the bomb will go off.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let all the criminals out who have been oppressed. That's the one. If I have a drawback with that storyline, you all been oppressed by this Harvey Dent Act. No, you all committed crimes. They just made
They all committed crimes.
They may have streamlined putting you in prison, but you all committed crimes.
That's
You're not oppressed. You know
that's
what I mean?
them grounding. That's them grounding it down a little bit from Nightfall, where Bane shows up with like a bazooka and blows the wall of Arkham into pieces and lets everybody out. So,
Right. Did you notice that the first time I saw this movie, I didn't notice that. I watched it when I was watching it today. I noticed when the football game where it gets blown up or whatever. The other team was Rapid City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember it. Canadian Survivalist is in the house. Kalita Carrington is in the house. Thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, so Batman has to heal with his back in the pit. One of the vertebrae is popped out, and they tell this story about only one child has ever gotten out of the pit, and they kind of lead you to think that it's Bane, but eventually they reveal that it's not Bane. But the child is only able to get out of the pit because he doesn't use the rope.
Well, here's no fear.
Yeah, like if you're not, if you die, you die. Like that's the thing that's holding you back. And it's so hard. Like when Batman heals up eventually, and he tries to do the jump, and each time he falls with the rope, I'm like, how does your back not go back to being like?
Well, right after you
separated.
had a vertebrae shoot out of it too.
Right.
Like, come
like
on.
What? Just that the fact that it's a rope, like I feel like it should harm you in some way falling from that level. But
well, how about this scene that you're showing too, right? Where they steal the scientist who creates the bomb later. And then, they're getting ready to go, and the guy starts climbing up, and he's like, "No, brother, they expect one of us not to survive." Well, then pick one of these other fools. I'm coming with you. It's not me. Why? And the guy's, "Oh, okay," and just sits back down. No.
Yes, sure. Like what? No. So eventually,
why would you shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane?
This was a good scene right here. He's like, "I'm in charge. Are you now?"
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a great scene. So eventually, Batman gets out of the pit. He gets out of the pit. He does no fear, and he jumps. He makes it out. He throws the rope. Watch, I love that part. He throws the rope down for everybody else to get out. That's a key point that I don't think a lot of people have checked out.
And the other thing with the story too is we find out that the child is Ra's al Ghul's child.
Yes.
Which, if you've read the comics, it shouldn't have been a surprise later for us. But it's his child. And
you know what? Like the only thing is, it's like, all right, it's his child, and all that was okay, but they gave her like they kind of like gave her Bane's origin, to, like make that surprise, and like you got everything right so far. Just like use that for a surprise, where she could have still been the head bad guy, and you could have still kept like Bane's origin. I think it was just like really bad writing. But I
like the little twist though, because that he's the reason that they're connected is because he protected her.
Yeah, like you could have done all of that and not messed up like so that little bit of continuity you kept already,
Yeah,
fair.
I agree. Kenneth Burr says, "I just want to write what happened to Robin. I know he died, but you're gonna bring up Batman all the time. What about Robin? Can you be video live?" Robin doesn't die in this movie. He's only named once. What's the actor's name? I forget.
Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He plays a character. At the end of the movie, they revealed, "Oh, you should use your real name. I like it," and it's Robin. And it's like,
his first name's Robin.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. He did play kind of like a Robin role, and he kind of knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman through the whole movie, and he just wants Batman to come back. So Batman ends up coming back to Gotham. He teams up with Catwoman. He tries to get her to stay. He says, she has heart. She's after a little device that can clear her name. And she was tricked in the beginning, say, "Oh, I don't have that. That doesn't exist," by one of the villains.
I thought he just erased her file, but he had it on a drive. I thought that's what that was.
No, there's a program that Batman, Bruce Wayne created that'll wipe your thing from the system, and you can start fresh. And he offers that to her at the end if he helps. He's like, "Listen, I got it. It's real. You can have it. All I want you to do is blow a hole in where they've trapped everybody in."
Yeah, I'll do that, but as soon as that happens, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm out. Which she doesn't. I love the scenes with Alfred and Bruce.
Oh, great.
Where Alfred's like, "No, I don't want to see this happen to you anymore." And then he tells him about how he burnt the card from from what's her face that died in the previous movie. And Bruce is like, "You gotta go, Alfred. Just bye." And
Extroverting.
yeah. Goodbye, Alfred. But Alfred tells a story of when Bruce was gone, when he was training all those years, when he was away, that Alfred was in control of everything, and he would go to this certain place overseas, and he would imagine having coffee, and he would look over, and he would imagine, huh?
It was wine.
Wine.
Yeah.
He was having wine, and he would imagine Bruce being over at another table with the person that he found, some kind of wife or something, and all he'd have to do is acknowledge and acknowledge his head that he was okay. Right. So that comes back in later. Batman, the part I don't get about this is like Batman comes back and he frees all the cops. That's his little army.
Well,
and then
go ahead.
He goes and fights Bane on the thing. I was like, Bane just beat the crap out of you. And you've done no extra special training to go and fight him again.
We were talking about tropes before we started, right? Before we started this evening. This had that ultimate trope of there's a huge battle scene and the two protagonists, or the two foils, meet each other and those two have to fight one-on-one. Come on, why? Even before that, here's my other criticism of that scene. Even before that, remember when the cops are all going down that one street, led by Captain, I've abandoned everybody, but now I'm in my dress blues and I'm
the leader
again.
Dude.
That guy was a tool.
He's
but
the
anyway,
worst.
So you're all walking down this narrow street, all lined up like a bunch of morons, clearly overpowered because most of you don't have guns. They all have submachine guns. They're just gonna mow you down. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. They're just gonna mow them all down. That took me out of it. And like I said, it's a narrow street, so it's not like you can spread out. It's literally the worst version of 300. So 300, they wanted to be narrow, so they had to come attack them and they whatever. This is, we can't get away, and they're just gonna mow us down.
Couple of them go down. A couple of those cops go down.
Not enough. Not enough if they're just raining bullets. And these guys are paramilitary too, right? So why would they go chase them? Just stand with your gun and keep shooting people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very true.
That being said, for a movie, I'm going to let it
go. A good scene. Let me see. When they're doing the court and they have the Scarecrow is the judge, and they're basically like exile or death. And either way you're screwed, because if you choose exile, you got to walk out on the ice, which is going to lead you to death, which is another part. Like, did Batman strengthen the ice?
When?
Because remember, he's walking on the ice when they send Gordon out. Remember Gordon? They're like, oh, he's like, I'll take death.
And Batman shows up past the ice, like,
yeah, he's all.
Batman.
I'm like, but wait a minute, the ice is supposed to be like brittle and stuff. And Gordon and them walk out, and Batman's coming the direction where it's less frozen.
No,
and I'm like, maybe he did some Batarang stuff and froze.
Well, but where they're standing isn't cracked, so maybe once you get far enough out in the middle, maybe that's where it cracks. Because they make you keep walking until basically whatever.
Yeah.
Although you then light the ice on fire, so what do we,
Right. Here, they need a sign. So Batman took the time to spray all that stuff on the bridge.
Don't save us. Spend the time doing this.
So Batman confronts Bane. Now, the key to this is that there's a machine that Wayne Enterprises has made, which kind of like what is it, like an emitter or something like that? That
it was gonna be like a better way to like conserve power, but it turns out you could also turn it to an atom bomb.
It was a nuclear reactor.
Yeah,
that was gonna power the city, but he didn't. He never turned it on because he was worried that someone could take it and reappropriate it as a nuclear bomb. Guess what happens in this movie?
Yeah. So the bad guys, Bane and them, they take the thing and they're driving through the city trying to get it to a certain spot or whatever. While that's happening, the child of Ra's al Ghul reveals themselves when Batman is fighting Bane and stabs him
after sleeping with him, mind you.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
she
I'm
did
sure
that
she
in
was
the
setting him-
comics too.
She was setting them up the whole time.
That was pretty much
If you want to see a
accurate.
really funny skit, I'm not going to go over the whole thing. There's Pete Holmes, if you remember it, when he had his own show, would occasionally do these little skits as part of his show. And there's one about that scene where he's like, "Oh, so you slept with me first? What about all that stuff we did?" Watch it. It's really funny.
And there's a scene when he's fighting Bane that he does the voice like, what's going on? And I'm like, he looks just like the guy making fun of him. Like, that's not good. So she's Talia al Ghul. She stabs him in the side. She was the child
because she was
that
a
escaped.
child of Gotham.
Yeah, she was the child that escaped the pit. Bane was the one that helped her.
The head of the League of Assassins. Like,
yes. And then what happened with Bane being he was what do they call it, excommunicated from the League of Shadows because of, he was broken, and Ra's al Ghul didn't want that as part of his organization.
Well, and he also didn't want the remembrance of losing his wife to that prison.
Yes, yeah, he wanted all memories of that gone. So, but then Talia al Ghul gets him to join up with them. And she takes the truck after that, and she's driving around the truck with the bomb in it.
Meanwhile, Gordon is in the back doing his
trying to do whatever he's trying to do. They reroute the truck, it crashes. And the scene, oh my God, I had to bring Kamara. I said, Kamara, come look at this. When Talia al Ghul dies, right? She's like this. And she does like the fakest die scene. I was like, you couldn't film that 5 more times and give me something real.
That's not even what bothered me.
It was so horrible.
That didn't bother me so much. What bothered me with that, so first of all, the Batman's trying to redirect the truck towards what got Wayne Tower to put it back so they can just shut it down. Obviously that doesn't happen. But then when they crash, right? So they crash, she's dead, the driver's dead, but Gordon's fine in the back with that huge metal ball that wouldn't have bounced around and crushed him like whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's like 5 minutes left on that thing before it's gonna blow up. But we have time to have a conversation, get her whole death speech. We have time to have a conversation with Catwoman, get kissed. No! Do all this later. Get the bomb out of there.
And you know what? Last I checked, atom bombs are one of those things that almost counted. That looked like the almost still would have counted toward Gotham.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know that he had enough time to get that as far as he needed to get it.
Well, of course, Batman always has enough time. It's Batman.
I think that the blast radius was only like 5 miles or something like that. But you got to remember, with the prevailing winds, maybe the nuclear fallout.
Yeah, that part.
That way.
So one of the sub things throughout the movie is that Fox, which is played by Morgan Freeman, shows him this Batwing type thing that he's created for him. But they talk about the autopilot. He's like, he hasn't been able to get it right or get it to work. And he's like, this is something that you might have to fix or something like that.
Because more or less, I don't have enough time to do it. I could do it, but I just don't have time.
Yeah.
But
so
not an unencumbered mind, but a less busy mind.
Yeah. So Batman takes the bomb, hooks it up to the wing, and proceeds to bring it out of the city, away from Gotham. And it shows he's out there, he's got it, time's ticking down. Bomb explodes. Batman is gone, supposedly. Batman is dead. This is where the end of the movie kind of leaves you in that Christopher Nolan realm. You know where Nolan leaves you at the end of his movies? Like, is that true? Is this or that? It's classic Nolan. So Batman goes, it blows up. Batman's dead, quote unquote. He saved the city. Very touching scene with Alfred. Oh my God, I got choked up when he was looking at the graves and he's talking to his parents like, "I failed you. I failed you." I was
That's
like,
the other thing
man.
at the grave scene too, right? It's a touching scene. They're both billionaires, right? His parents' graves are the most nondescript, nothing stones, and then he's got this really nice gravestone next to it. I'm like, what?
They didn't really put a lot of effort and thought into that. So when Fox is back at the place where they make these things, they ask about the autopilot. He's like, "Oh, it was fixed 6 months ago."
Right.
And then he looks, he's like, huh, and he smiles, and you're like, uh-oh.
No, he
And
says, "Who fixed it?" They're like, Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne fixed it, yeah. So I just to fast forward, Robin, Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes to the police station. There's something left for him as a bag. He takes it, has coordinates. He goes to this place where there's a waterfall. He swings into the waterfall like Robin. I thought that was great. I was like, that's really cool. Then it cuts to
No, that's the end. So the lead up
yeah, but I don't want to reveal that.
Remember, because he put all that money into the nuclear reactor that was never turned on, Wayne Industries lost all kinds of money. So at the end of the movie, they're kind of reassessing his estate now that he's dead, and the will says, even though it was never really changed, the house is left to Alfred, except for and the house and the grounds are left to Alfred, except for the contents need to be sold to make up all the debt. And the house would then be turned into a school for the boys, which we see. And with the caveat that it's never changed, never torn down, nothing's ever, changed about it. So obviously, the underground stuff can stay. But then, and then he leaves something for Robin to go pick up. And that's what he's picking up.
Before he enters the cave, before he enters the cave, though, they show Alfred at the place where he says he'd always go to look to see for Bruce. Now, this is the part where you don't know if he's imagining this.
No, because
if this is really happening.
This is really happening.
We see Robin pick up the bag and leave, and then it goes to Alfred. But as he's leaving, the executor of the will says, "Hey, did you ever find that item?" And the woman's like, "No, we're still looking for it." He goes, "It'd be pretty bad if we lost a string of pearls."
Okay.
And who wanted those pearls?
Catwoman.
Who do we see at the end of the movie with Bruce?
Right, but I get I want to believe that that's it. You know what I mean? But it's just that thing, he said.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it,
no, Batman.
I think that's Bruce going, "I know that this is where you're likely to go. This is what you always wanted, so I'm going to give it to you."
Yeah. So it shows Bruce Wayne there with Catwoman. They're together, and then it cuts to Robin's scene where he steps on the little platform and it rises up, and it's basically a new Bat Cave, and then end of movie.
Right.
So I thought it was a great trilogy.
I thought when you have trilogies or sagas or whatever, the ending is usually not very satisfying. I thought this ending was actually fairly satisfying.
It made me want more, and it had an ending to it.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Which had people thinking, "Oh, is this Batman gonna be in the DC thing?" And they quickly cast Ben Affleck right after
that. And you were quickly your Batman just went disappointing.
But here's the backstory: they offered Christian Bale $60 million.
Oh yeah.
To reprise his role in as Batman in the DCU.
Well, who they offered Joker to first?
Who?
Robin Williams.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have worked. He's great. He was great.
He's played some creepy parts.
I know, but I would only see Robin.
Here's the thing. I think Heath Ledger was an inspired choice. I'm not saying, but
yeah. All right, so let's go around to Phil. What do you give this?
I'm giving it. You know what? It's probably like an 8. It's probably if I was being really fair, it's an 8. I'm giving it an 8.5. It's still a good ending to the trilogy, and it's Batman, so I'm a little bit partial because it's Batman. But being in all fairness, the story is not quite up to par with the other two. So be an 8. But I'm giving it an 8.5.
All right, Green Shirt Guy.
So if I went back and looked what I gave the other ones, because I remember I said that this is my second favorite. So Batman Begins, I give an 8.6. The last one last week I gave a 9.3. So this one's not quite as good for me. So I'd say a 9.1. I like it. There's a lot of things that I like, and there's some drawbacks, but I think it expands the universe. It closes great. 9.1.
Okay. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 as well. I think the length of it was a bit long.
It was like,
Bit
I
long.
wondered, like, was this even longer than the Batman that just came out? Like, this is
Oh, that.
It might be. I understand
this
they had to
long.
end the trilogy, but it was a
Oh
bit
no,
long.
the Batman was like 15 minutes longer. It was like,
Yeah. The Batman could have been 25 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
And I like that movie.
Kenneth Bird says, "You think they might make another Batman and Robin movie one day? Just let me know." Carol Lucy. Yes, there's going to be Batman the Brave and the Bold, which will be part of James Gunn's DCU. There'll be an older Batman. The whole Bat family will be already have made, and Damian Wayne will be Robin in that movie. All right. Let me just go. You're shaking your head. No.
I'm a Batman guy, but I'm not that movie. No, I'm sorry. Nope.
We'll see. It all depends on who they cast as Batman, honestly.
That's not. It's all how it's written. Honestly, you could have Michael Keaton come back and play Batman. If it's not written well, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Very, very true.
that's very true. We know that.
That's very true. All right, let me go see who was here. Give the shout outs. Las Cruces was here, 1971. Thank you for joining us.
Can I give next week's trilogy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it?
I think it's on me.
Is it on you, Phil?
Yeah.
Well, Cliff's not here, so he can't choose. So it's
Yeah.
can't choose.
All right, Phil. What is the next trilogy?
It's the Has Fallen trilogy. So
The
it's Olympus has fallen, London has fallen, and Angel has fallen.
I have seen none of these.
Okay, some new.
And it has
all
a few of the actors from this like Batman series, like Morgan Freeman and Aaron Eckhart.
Which is the first one, so I know which one I got to go find for this week.
I think it's Olympus has fallen.
Okay.
All right, so that's your homework for next week. Olympus has fallen with Gerard Butler, correct? Am I right about that? Gerard
and
Butler.
Morgan Freeman, right?
And Morgan Freeman. That's your homework for next week in our next trilogy council. Brian LCS is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Kenneth Bird is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Melodope Comics is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Larry Jackson was in the house. Thank you for joining us. Comic Cap Collectibles is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Kamaria is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Canadian Survivalist was in the house. Thank you for joining us. Kalita Carrington is in the house. Thank you for joining us. And that's it. All right. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Remember, we're here every Sunday, 5 p.m., 2 p.m. Pacific for Film and Box Office News. Your homework for next week is Olympus Has Fallen. Yeah. Remember to watch that for next week. And tomorrow is a big day for our new Keys and Hot Comics of the Week. We go live at 8 p.m. We're doing 2 giveaways tomorrow. It's the end of the month. 2 big prizes. We're going to add a couple things in there. Green Shirt Guys giving us a couple sketches that we're going to throw in there. So you got to make sure you tune in. We're going to give you 3 chances to win ducks tomorrow. And then at the end of the episode, we are going to pick our winners. So, for myself, for Phil, for Green Shirt Guy, for Cliff and Papa Willie, you couldn't make it. We hope you feel better. We love you. Thank you for watching. And we will see you next time. Peace.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are